everybody. This is Frankie Abbruzzino with nobody. Almost always want to say my name, or one of my companies, Frankie for Mayor of Venice.com. Platform. Everyone's asked me, where do you stand on the platform? What do you stand? When I was ambushed by that former council member, he never let me get to the premise, and what I was trying to do is build up and explain why I stand on the issue. But basically, what is controlling development? How do you control development? You know, it's hard. It acts like the Burt Harris Act. It's a property rights bill, basically ties the hands of local government on a lot of issues. Where I stand different, and I believe so based upon my 13 years of being consistent with the same message, and then looking at you can go and look at my opponent's record to see where he stands. That's what I would suggest. Basically, I don't like changing zoning. If you look at different zoning, you know, right now there's a few different cases. I've written about, we've put out a few with the Suncoast News, and basically if it's zoned, let's say, open, I don't think we should change it to commercial when everyone moves around there. A good example that I've utilized in the past is Venice Hospital. It's in Sarasota County. All these houses were around there. The property was supposed to be residential. Venice Hospital wanted to build there. So the county came in and said, we're going to change the zoning. And they changed the zoning so that they could build the hospital there. They could allow the helos and everything. And it just drove down property values. And everybody's asking, why have zoning then? There's another one, I think, with the Knights or Laurel neighborhood up on Knights Trail. What is it? The Laurel, something neighborhood. Basically, they wanted to change the text in the comp plan that was basically rewritten just a year or two ago and put it so that they can double the amount of dwellings in there. So again, why have a comp plan if you can easily go in and change it? And that's where I come in and say, let's control this. Why are we doing this? On the whole LDR controversy, we could have avoided it if the council members would have gotten out and talked to the people. They tend to just look what's on the agenda and what people are emailing and go from there. They could have gone out, talked to people, and realized that there's an issue, that a lot of people were upset with the direction it's going in. I can tell you that developers or attorneys for developers do have access that normal residents do not have, and they did have input into these LDRs and the comp plan for that matter that go far and beyond what a normal resident has. I think all residents should be able to do it, so I don't fault the attorney for doing it. His business are interested in it, so being a business owner of a few businesses, I understand that, and I probably would have done the same. But it was up to the council to put it in check in the city, and I just think there's too much bias towards the developers, even with our planning and zoning departments. So I have concerns there. So there are ways to get in there and control the overdevelopment that's going on. And the LDR folks have some legitimate concerns. Someone brought up the whole seaboard 75-foot thing. And you might be looking out there and saying, it's a bunch of garages, storage places. What's the big deal? Warehouses? But, you know, it's funny. I directed somebody to a 2013 article in the Herald where John Hollick, then Mayor Hollick, talked about turning that whole area into a similar thing as the Bradenton Riverwalk. They called it the Venice Riverwalk. If you Google Hollick Riverwalk Venice, you'll probably find the article. And that's a conceptual design that a lot of people out there have. They want to redesign that whole area. So when you go ahead and right now they're saying, 75 feet, what's a big deal? You're not going to see anything like that at Seaboard. Not now. But there are dreams, ambition, vision to do stuff like that, okay? And that's along with the same line with the PDUDs. You look at the changing of all those. The other focus is going to be affordable housing. We have to focus on it. We have to come up with solutions. You have individual companies like my opponent, you know, his company, well, Justin runs it, but Venice Peer Group, they're doing stuff to get their employees and some of the overseas employees that they bring in, temporary employees, housing at affordable rates. We need to see those type of things going on. We need to see some government and NGOs maybe working together, like with Family Promise and Habitat for Humanity, where we just saw with that 7-year deal with selling the property, and maybe some private-public partnerships going on to try to find more affordable housing. And I would support the state appropriation for programs that support acquisition of property and construction of housing units that are affordable and low to middle income residents for them. Support the city's request for an increase in funding of the CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, and home partnership programs, which also will assist in endeavors towards affordable housing. The other issue that you're looking at there, the Venice Hospital, even though nobody talked about it at the last council meeting, it's going to be big. We've already seen the elephant trunk shut down, so it is going to have an economic impact. It's going to have a bed count impact, so you're looking at health and safety issues. Why can the council do anything about it? No, they were as surprised as anybody else. Not really me. If you look at their financials, which I've been putting them out for a couple of years, even when they were looking at doing the new building over there on Venice Ave. So there's not much you can do, but you can show some leadership. You can say, look, we're putting this on the table. We're going to try to think through this. We're going to maybe contact SMH, see if they can rent it out. We're going to look at ideas and, as leaders, political leaders of the city, see what we can do. It's not on your agenda, and that's where I said a lot of them are, well, it's not on the agenda. We can't do anything. You can be a voice. You can get out there and show some leadership. Small businesses, obviously owning 3, maybe 4 now. I have a lot of focus on that. It's very important to me. I'd like to see small businesses flourish. I had keeping it local years ago, where the idea was business offer a discount or a free drink or something, and individuals can use their card there. So I've always been for supporting those small businesses out there. The home rule, this is something too where you got the city. Basically, you got to support the city in the home rule, where legislation that provides home rule authority for cities and counties to make decisions that reflect on the unique needs of the community and wishes of the citizens. So we need to support the city's support for the home rule on that. Environment, as a surfer, I'm always out there. I would continue to the monitoring of the outflows. I would think that a lot of my work back then when they decided to do that was instrumental in that. You haven't really heard a lot about Florida friendly landscaping since the red tide disaster, 5 years ago, whenever that was. So I would renew interest in that. And also, I'm glad finally they put on the agenda to ban smoking on the beaches. So there are different environmental issues that you can pursue out there, and I would be open to hearing about any other issues. The environment is key. We need to keep it up, folks. The airport, I have a forum with Vasi. That's it's a revenue generator for the area. The only things out there, they're building, I believe, the new runway. I know the citizens of Golden Beach, the loud jet noise has been a concern, and some say that putting up a new control tower, will force the individuals to use the right runways and maybe curtail the noise. And so investigating that further and see what we can do on it. The other thing is their hotel / restaurant, boutique, whatever it is, all that's going in there, that build out where they're at, and those are really the only issues that I know of impacting the airport right now that's out there. And what else we got? We got the permitting process as a licensed real estate a realtor. I've heard of some issues through my fellow realtors and just how the processes are, trying to streamline it and just seeing where there's a disconnect there. I hear a lot of complaints out there that are a little concerning and just want to look into it. Millage rate, I was talking to someone, a reporter with the paper, and he was in agreement with me that, why aren't we seeing discounts in the millage rate? If you look at the city of Venice, we are 1.90% to 1% higher than the other cities and counties. That's Sarasota County, City of Sarasota, and Northport. Yet they're able to do similar services as us. And as a realtor, I just put out a video about home valuations, how they've increased. My house here in the last few years has doubled. So why haven't we looked at dropping that millage rate, especially if Venice is 0.90 to 1% higher than the other entities? How are they able to do it? Someone said, well, it's all the EMS vehicles. Well, no, Northport has they have different stuff that we don't have. There's different variables that flow into it. But if you look at the 2021 budget, because we're working on the 2022 budget, I think Tuesday's another meeting with it. They brought in $17,731,625 in property taxes off of it. So the question is, since the property values have increased so much, do we have room to bring us down in line with the other cities and the county in our area? It's a good question. Has anyone looked at it? I don't know. I don't think so, from what I've heard. The new park build out, it's funny, that park in North Venice, they've been wanting it forever. Hollick once promised to it, and he said, yeah, I'll get you guys a park. The old Ajax, there was this drawings and the planning and everything, and I saw it, and then Hollick said, no, I didn't do that, but I saw information that led me to believe he did promise it, and it's been something that North Venice has always wanted. So it's good that we move forward with it. You know, I have concerns. I think, I can't remember the line number, something like over 3 million. I put information out there. If you look alone, the property they bought, I don't even know how many people know this. It's a company, an LLC. The name escapes me right now. I think I wrote about it. And we bought it, and that LLC is actually owned by, I believe his name's John Neal. It's one of Pat Neal's sons, I believe. And Casada, Frank Casada, another major developer here in Venice. And, you know, I saw that, and I'm like, I wonder how much we got the land for, how much money they made off of it, and how many people really know that that's the land we bought was owned by them, and what type of deals were brought in there. Or maybe there weren't any deals. Maybe it was up on the up and up. Who knows? But it's interesting how that I came across that. The Laurel Road build out, I've covered this in the past. It's a partnership between the county, Neal, and the city. You know, it's funny though, on that one, Hollick made a big stink because he said Neal was going to give us his property, and Neal said, no, I promised property, but I didn't say for free. So basically, we're buying it. I think it's just over $2 million, buying his, and I think a couple other people for the right of way. And then he's going to put some of that money into the widening. How nice of him. He comes out looking great in the public's eye because he's seen as giving money. They don't realize the back trail there. Also, there was an article out there that he said, if these other two landowners don't sell, then we need to do eminent domain and just take the property. So nice guy out there. Sometimes I wonder about knowing what he's thinking. But we got it. We'll continue that. There's the Laurel Road build out. There's the Pinebrook. You know, first I believe they're working the intersection of Venice Avenue and Pinebrook, and then the 4 lanes heading down to Laurel. It's going to happen. I know a lot of people are against it, but it's inevitable with all the housing, the hospital down there, the only hospital down there for Venice. It's inevitable, and it's going to happen, and it's already in planning. People think it's not in planning, and if you talk about it, they'll bring it, they'll start planning about it. That's not how it happens, guys. So those are just some of the platforms. I have many issues. One of my major goals is just meeting with small businesses once a month and residents once a month for coffee, whatever you want to do it. So kind of like Hollick did. Hollick did a monthly coffee meetup with residents just to hear their input and try to avoid situations like what we have with the LDR, where you can sit down and get the feel for what the real concerns, real needs of the individuals are out there. And that's it, just trying to bring back some civility to the council. It's been very divisive between the Republicans and Democrats, even though it's supposed to be nonpartisan. If you know the players and you watch it, you used to see a lot of partisanship there. And just hoping to change that environment and bring back some civility to the council. All right, I think that's it. And if you have any questions, I was going to go surfing Saturday. Now I'm not, so I'm going to maybe do a coffee. It'll be a last minute one, but you'll find it on my Facebook page if I end up doing it. And remember, frankieformayorofvenice.com. There's flyers on there. You can print and share them. Getting signs today, only 20, because I'm really not looking at taking a lot of donations in. I'm trying to do it cost effectively. I'd rather you spend money on feeding your kids than me getting a sign. And I'm getting some flyers in too, so when I go out to hopefully put some in the doors and also to some of the forums. So far, I think I've been invited to 3 or 4 forums. I've accepted everyone that's been sent to me, okay? And that's it. Everybody have a great day.